Bulavinaka, Fiji, and a warm welcome to Speak Your Mind. I do hope you're keeping safe and well during these difficult times, and my thoughts are with you going through this period. But I have Speak Your Mind today. My guest is from the United Blind Persons of Fiji, the Events and Marketing Manager, Rajnil Prasad. Welcome to Speak Your Mind, my friend.
Yes, thank you very much, Luis, and it is an honor for me to be on Speak Your Mind once again. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Well, you're most welcome. Now, Rajnil, you're also the Home Care Independent National Disability Awards chairperson. Can you tell us more about this event and when and how will it be held because of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yes, definitely. Due to the pandemic, basically the whole event throughout the nation is on hold or maybe postponed or maybe cancelled. However, the Home Care Independent National Disability Awards was actually conceived last year, and due to the great success that we had, we had the event last year in Holiday Inn. We actually seen the very good turnout, and apparently this year we had decided to make it a bit more bigger and also introduce new categories, which I will talk about it later on. Apparently this event, it is an initiative from the United Blind Persons of Fiji to host an annual disability gala awards night to enforce and also reward the persons living with disability on the work that they do in various categories. So in this award, you will see that there's 8 different categories. We introduced 2 new categories this year, which I will talk about later. What we have this year, we have got Youth of the Year Award, Entrepreneur of the Year Award, Senior Manager of the Year Award. We've got Sports Person of the Year Award. We've got Student of the Year. And also we've got the Lifetime Achievement Award, and the 2 new categories that we have introduced this year was the Women in Leadership Award and SME Awards. So now if you see, what we have done is we have recognized the persons with disability in various sectors. It's not, this award is basically not about a person in sports. It's all about overall that we're recognizing the work that they do and the contribution they do towards our economy.
Yeah, man, excellent. Well done. I mean, this is supposedly to be the second one this year, and because of COVID-19, I suppose you have to move in another direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
What we have done this year, the awards were supposed to be held on April the 4th. And due to the pandemic, we had actually had a tough decision that we had to make, and the entire committee actually sit down and we had to discuss that how we could shift the date. But what we have done now, tentatively, we have moved the date to August. But depending on the situation, and also we'll be waiting for the approval from the authorities before we announce an exact date. But as for now, we are planning to move it to August.
Okay.
But we are advising the people that who have bought the tickets, and the tickets are actually on sale. So what we have requested the people is they can keep their tickets, and they can use the same ticket for the awards night that we will have in later date.
Okay. So how many tickets did you manage to sell? Was it a sellout, or do you can still sell some more?
Yeah, well, last year, like I said, it was a grand success. We actually sold our tickets, and there were about more than 60 people standing outside trying to buy the tickets. So this year we had decided to move the event into a much more bigger place, which was at the Sports Council FMF Gymnasium.
Right.
So we had actually printed 350 tickets.
Okay.
So
how much a ticket, Rajnil?
it's $100 per ticket.
Well, I mean, for a worthy cause, why not?
For the worthy cause, yes. And also it includes 15-course dinner, plus you get a gift pack from Pure Fiji with kind compliments of Pure Fiji. There's a lot of resort giveaway door prizes, and also the tickets including food and beverage. So you have alcohol, soft drinks, and also we had a cup of corner. So it's a night of a celebration where people will spend $100, and then you come and have a full-on entertainment evening. We had live band entertainment from various groups that actually came on board to perform. We had strangers performing. We had Musty Dance group was performing. We had visually impairment people, a group, it's called Vision Band, they were performing. And also Tobu Tribute were performing. So we had a night of entertainment. Plan will remain as
Yeah.
as it is. So what we will do, we'll just shift the date and we will continue with the program as been scheduled.
Lovely. So are you still able to sell tickets for someone who's interested for
Yes,
this year's? The tentative date?
Yes, the tickets are still on sale. You can come down to United Blind Persons or Fiji office here in Brown Street, or maybe you can contact me on my mobile to book a ticket. So the tickets are still on sale. We are encouraging people to buy the ticket. The tickets are all for good cause. The event is for a good cause.
Yes.
Basically, all the funds that's going to be raised from this event will be going back to the persons with disability, in particular with the visually impairment people for their support. What we did last year was the funds that was collected after the auditing, we had actually paid some of the university fees for two of our members. We did a home renovation, and also we have done other, we have actually purchased the excessive devices for some of our members, which is actually costing. We have to actually get it in from overseas. You don't get those equipments in Fiji.
So the
In particular,
equipments,
the
what
white
are
cane.
they, Reginald, the equipment?
It's a white cane. It's a stick
Okay.
that the visually impairment people use. We have to get it in from Canada and also from New Zealand.
Okay.
And also the talking watch, talking calculators, and all this basically. And also brailing papers. Brailing papers, you can't find it in Fiji. You have to get it in from overseas in terms of for brailing and for them to read the brailles.
Yeah, that's the
So,
thing. I mean, comparing it to a visually impaired person, Braille is like for us, being able to read and write.
yeah.
So, I mean,
So
it's a very
special-
important tool for the visually impaired.
Yeah. So all those materials do not come in a cheap cost. Also, of course, we have to look into the freight charges and all this stuff. So basically, the funds that we raised last year was used on those things. Apparently, this year we were trying to do more similar project, and also we wanted to invent a new program that we will motivate and also empower the disability youth.
Wonderful. Well, we'll
visually
get back to
impairment
that, Rajnil, in a moment. We're just heading to a short break. Thank you indeed for being a part of Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, Fiji's only classic hit station in the country. Be sure to tune in, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back to Speak Your Mind on Gold FM. Only the classic hits. Life goes on as usual. Obla di obla da. My guest is from the United Blind Persons of Fiji. He's doing a brilliant job. The events and marketing manager, Rajnel Prasad. As you heard, that he had a wonderful event last year, but unfortunately, because of COVID-19, they have now a tentative date, and this is for the National Disability Awards. And we have the chairperson, Rajnel, on the line talking with us. So, Rajnel, you mentioned about how you wanted to create a new program for, you. So maybe you'd like to tell us more about it.
Yes, Louise. Apparently what we're doing at the moment is the groundwork has actually been completed with the kind compliments of the New Zealand High Commission and the New Zealand High Commissioner, Mr. Jonathan Kaur.
Oh.
They have actually given us some funds to actually start a JAWS program. JAWS is a very interesting program, even for me as an able person. When I joined the organization, I was actually worried that how would these guys going to read emails and stuff. So there is a program, it's called JAWS, and JAWS actually, it's a software that actually speaks out whatever you send on email or whatever they read,
Right.
documentations and stuff, they actually read it out, and this program actually reads it out to them. So we were planning, actually it is on pipeline. As soon as everything is settled, we will start with this project. It is a JAWS computer program training. This program training will be conducted for the youth and also for adults as well if they're interested. So it is free of charge, and especially for university students and high school students, even primary school students could also join this program. We have actually secured some laptops that we will be using that for training and also for the disability visual impairment youth program that we have. We are trying to have a youth band and also other awareness program that will be done by the visually impairment youth members. So we have a youth board has actually been has been established, and the youth president is of course the members of the disability sector. That they actually are working on a few other interesting programs, and we will be rolling out to the media once we have actually start the platform, and we will be conducting these trainings very soon.
Excellent work, Rajneel. So how many sponsors do you have altogether for your National Disability Awards?
Yes, we are very fortunate. Last year we were struggling, as you know, it's a first year, and normally for any hiring event, it is always the toughest case where we get sponsors. But however, this year, after the successful event last year, we had actually secured all the 8 categories were 100% sponsored. We were fortunate that Fiji Higher Education Commission was sponsoring the Youth of the Year. TFL is actually sponsoring the Entrepreneur of the Year. HFC Bank is sponsoring Senior Manager of the Year. Wyndham Destinations is sponsoring Sports Person of the Year. FNU is sponsoring Student of the Year. IROC Enterprise, it's a real estate company, they're sponsoring the SME of the Year. Port Denarau Marina is sponsoring the Women in Leadership of the Year. And the naming rights sponsor is Home Care Independent, and also they are the sponsors for the Lifetime Achievement Award. So as you can see, the lineup of sponsors for these main categories are very
well supported.
Yeah, and it's well supported. And also we have other supporting sponsors like Goodman Fielders, Coca-Cola, CJ Patel, FMF, and there are a lot of lists to be named. They're all sponsoring us, and also the production is done by Bright Future Film, and of course we have Stage Tech is sponsoring lights and sound. Fiji Sports Commission and Fiji Sports Council actually giving us a venue for hosting this event. They're giving us a discounted price, and also there are a few other printing companies that are sponsoring this. Few other media companies are coming on board to support us as well. And we are fortunate that also FBC is coming on, to support us by hosting, giving us opportunity to be part of the interview as well. So as we move on, we'll be securing more sponsors if they're keen to come on board to support this event, which is going to be good. I mean, at the end of the day, it is not about competition. It's not about competitive. It is all about supporting a unique people. I would say it is a matter of supporting a good cause.
Exactly.
And of course, at the same time, it is part of the corporate service responsibility for any organization to support. I mean, like if you've seen previously, there was hardly any support or any events, especially for the persons with disabilities.
Yes, that's what I wanted to bring up. You just said it for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like since I joined the United Blind Persons of Fiji, and then I was appointed as a chairperson for this event, it was a dream for me to do something for these guys, and here we are. I mean, like it was a very tough. It took me 1 year to actually take off and to start this event, and God willing, maybe next year we are planning. It is in the pipeline. We were supposed to do it this year, but apparently due to the funding and sponsorship, we didn't. We are planning to have a disability expo where we have seen there's a lot of people in the disability sector are very talented. They are very artistic. And what we wanted to do is we want to have an expo where these guys come and display and sell their stuff. At the end of the day, we also want them to be independent. We don't want them to be relying on government funds. We don't want them to be relying on any other people. What we're trying to make these guys do is to be self-independent. We want to empower them. Look, if you have talent, make use of your talent and also earn something from that.
Man, so true. And you're doing such a wonderful job. I mean, imagine only 1 year and you have achieved a lot. I mean, your board. Thank you very much.
Yeah. It was not easy, apparently. There was a lot of criticism and there was a lot of backslashes and all this stuff.
Okay.
But then again, you need to have a thick skin to get over this. So, my main motive was to move forward, and that's what we are doing.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely doing great. Now, you sound like you have so many sponsors, so I'm not going to ask you the question of if you want more sponsors to come on board, but I'm sure you do. Why not? But anyhow, how much is this year's National Disability Awards sponsorship worth?
Yes. we still, like as an events person, as a chairperson, obviously we hunger for sponsorships. We want people to come on board.
The more the merrier.
The more the merrier. I mean, at the end of the day, it's for a good cause.
Exactly.
And of course, we have volunteers that are giving their time to come on board. I mean, like we have to be transparent with everybody. So what we're trying to do is like we are inviting more sponsors to come on board. Look, it is part of something special that we are doing. Maybe you haven't done this before. Why don't you try this out? At the same time, you get a good publicity. Each category in naming rights sponsorship was $5,000.
Okay.
And from that $5,000, $1,000 goes to the winner
Right.
as his or her prize money with a trophy and a certificate, and also a prize with the kind compliments of Pure Fiji. So, and also we had other supporting sponsors that were coming on board, giving $2,000, $1,000, any amount that they were willing to give, and we will tag them as our supporting sponsors. So we will still give them the same branding and promotions as we're giving to the others, and we will be inviting them to all our press releases and other media campaigns. So, yeah, if we have sponsors are interested to come on board, why not? The sponsorship is still open, and maybe next year we will be introducing 2 new categories next year. We will be announcing that very soon.
Yes.
And those 2 categories are to be sponsored. So, yes, if you want to dig in more deeper into your pocket and come on board and say, look, I want to sponsor and support this event, you're most welcome to do so.
Yes, I'm sure. Thank you very much, Rajnil. We'll be back for more. But as you heard Rajnil mention, that sponsorship is still welcome. And why not? I mean, this is the time I'm sure people are aware of, how important our neighbors are. It's always good to check on them. And for the visually impaired, I'd say the same thing too. But we'll be back soon on Gold FM, only the classic hits. This is Speak Your Mind. Bula Vinakatale, Fiji, it's good to have your company on Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. Remember, your only classic hit station in the country. Be sure to tune in. Anyway, I have on the line my guest from the United Blind Persons of Fiji, the Events and Marketing Manager, Rajnil Prasad, and he's just letting us know of the good work that he is doing, of course, with his team. So, Rajnil, how many awardees do you have for the National Disability Awards?
Like there is 8 categories. So at the moment, since we have shifted the date for the awards, we have actually extended the submission dates for people to submit in. We just wanted to let all the public know that this award is not only for the visually impairment people. This award is open for any persons with disability, despite what disability he or she has. So, and what work he or she does. So it is open for everybody. It is an initiative from the United Blind Persons of Fiji to host this event this year, and next year we will be focusing on a broader picture. So if at the moment we had received about 60 applications have already been submitted as of now.
Okay.
But what we are doing is like we are opening the submission again.
Oh, lovely, yes.
For people to submit in. I do understand that during this hard time, people are having difficulties in traveling around and coming to the office and giving their submissions. However, what we are doing now, we are inviting people to email their submissions. So what they can do, they can send their applications on email, or maybe one of their family members, they could support them or assist them to do applications for them. Probably they can contact us, or they can actually go to our Facebook page. We have got a Facebook page for the National Disabled Awards Facebook page. You can go to our page and you can get details from there, and we can actually assist the members in terms of filling up the forms. So yes, the applications are still open. We have extended the dates. We will, if need be, we will still extend it if we happen to change the date if the situation remains the same.
Okay, so what is the criteria like for choosing the winner?
Yes, we have got 5 panel of judges. 5 panel of judges. We've got very good judges who are who are in the team to do the selections. For category 1, for the Fiji Higher Education Commission Youth of the Year, you have to be between the age of 18 to 35, and also you have to give an evidence that you have been part of the community work, a member of the local youth community, and also need to submit in some evidence to show that what are the work that you are doing and some of the projects that you have done. So the age of the youth category is 18 to 35, so they have to be in between that age, and also they have to, submit in some evidence of the work that they have done.
Right.
The category 2 is the TFL Entrepreneur of the Year. Again, they have to be between the age of 18 to 35, and the same goes to the RREC Enterprise SME. It's an open category. SME category is an open category. So what they have to do is they have to submit their business registration, or is it a family business? So they have to submit in all the relevant documentations, and also some of the pictures and some of the business plans that they have done, and all those things, and the financial record, the registrations, and all these things.
Yep, that should be good.
And also this category C that we had was a HFC Senior Manager of the Year. This category is a bit interesting. It's actually giving opportunity for the persons with disability, the work that they are doing. They have to actually submit in the role in a certain business, or their business owners, or anything such as that. They have to do. They will be submitting us with the little write-up, the work they're doing, and evidence from their employers and so forth.
Okay.
So the 4th category was the Wyndham Destination Sportsperson of the Year. This category is also interesting. We're inviting persons with disabilities, in particular Paralympics and Special Olympics, the athlete or the sportsperson on the sports that they have done and the achievement that they have got from the sports that they can submit in. And also the 5th category was the FNU Student of the Year. This category is basically an open invitation to the students who are studying not only in FNU but any universities in Fiji. They must complete 80% of their courses, and also they will be they have to submit in their extra education work that they have done and the achievement that they have made during their study period.
Yeah.
The new category that we have is the Port General Women in Leadership Award. This is a new category that we are glad that we have this category. We wanna empower other women with disability that to be in a leadership role. So this category will be inviting women to submit in the work that they are doing, if they are in a corporate industry, or if they are the entrepreneurs, or they are working in a non-profitable organization on a leadership role, and they will be writing a short story about themselves between 100 to 1,000 words.
Right.
And also if they have photographies of any work that they have done. So it's basically about the work that they have been doing in a leadership role.
Yeah.
And of course, the 7th category that we have is the 8th category we have is the Lifetime Achievement Award. This is a very interesting category that we are inviting persons who have been in the disability sector, that they have been supporting not only the particular disability sector he or she is working for, but for empowering other affiliates in terms of work and contribution they have done to the other affiliates. So it is quite interesting. The criteria are very interesting. I have actually read out a brief of it, but actually it's a detail, because if I'm going to read word by word, it's not going to take another 1 hour. So if people are interested, they can request me, and I will email or send them the soft or hard copy of the criteria lists.
Right.
They can actually go through it thoroughly, and even if they want to discuss it with me, I can actually sit down and actually explain to them in a detailed way.
Well, thank you, Rajneel. Now, what are the backgrounds like of the awardees for the National Disability Awards this year, Rajneel?
Well, actually, this year we have seen quite interesting. We have seen some of the reputations. We have seen actually 1 or 2 applications that we have received that they actually won last year. So, for example, the Entrepreneur of the Year. It's a young girl by the name Devika. She is visually impaired and she's from Navua.
Okay, sorry, Rajneel. We'll have to get back. What's this young lady's name?
Her name is Devika Devi.
And how old is she?
She is 27 years of age.
Okay, we'll come
And-
back to that because we need to go into the break. Sorry about that,
No worries.
Rajnel, for interrupting on Speak Your Mind. This is your only classic hit station in the country, Gold FM. Thank you for your good company. This is Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. My guest is from the United Blind Persons of Fiji, the Events and Marketing Manager, Rajnel Prasad. And, I'm thinking that, in these unsettling times, it's always good to create the brotherly and sisterly love. Your deeds matter, what you do count, especially for a worthy cause. So Rajnel has been talking to us about the National Disability Awards, which has a tentative date in August. But even then, continue to support our visually impaired. So we were talking about Devika. You said a 27-year-old Rajnel. You can continue with that story, please.
Yes, thank you. We have one of our members. She's totally blind. She is totally visually impaired. She's running a small canteen at home. So what we did with the support from the Ministry of Women and also the social welfare, there was a SME training that was conducted, and she was trained to do a small business. So a little grant was given for her to start up a small canteen shop at her home, which she has actually done, and we had seen the improvement that she made, and she actually won the Entrepreneur of the Year award last year. So after winning that award, she underwent for more training, and apparently today she is running her business very well, and actually her business actually expanded. Now she has actually extended her canteen, and now she's selling more goods. Before she was selling candies and ice blocks and stuff like that.
Right.
Now she's moving into selling small groceries.
Oh, good.
So we have seen a vast improvement, and we have another member, an SME, that started a small cover business as a cover dealer. Now his business has actually expanded, and very soon that he might gonna be joining up with a exporter, and he will be sending his cover to overseas market.
Wow.
So these are the things that we are trying to empower the younger, the persons with disability to be more independent and also sell their goods, do their business not only locally but also internationally or regionally. So these are the plans that we have, and God willing, in perhaps in next 3 or 4 years' time, before I leave the sector, there will be a vast changes that will be done in terms of improving. But there will always be my support, and I will always try to advocate in terms of promoting and empowering them to do more better.
Excellent. You're doing such a great job. Thank you, Rajnel. Now, how many visually impaired Fijians are registered with the United Blind Persons?
Well, at the moment, there is about 200 registered members in the association, and we are expected this to be increased. And as you know, that the NCD cases in Fiji are increasing due to diabetes. There are people that are becoming partially visually impaired or fully visually impaired due to accidents, and some of them are born blind. So there is always an increase. It's not a steady number. So every year we do a registration drive. So there are people that were perhaps shy to come forward and give their registration, but there are a few people that were coming forward and saying, look, we want to register ourselves to this organization. And once they're registered with the organization, there is a full support that they normally give them. But as of now, we have got 200 people registered all over Fiji with the organization.
Okay, so 200. Now, my next question is, can only visually impaired Fijians registered with the United Blind Persons be assisted?
Well, any visually impaired person or blind persons in Fiji, whether they're registered or not registered, we still support them.
Okay.
We normally give we give assistance to all persons with visually impairment. So if a person, for example, if a person is staying in Mombasa and he or she is not registered, but somehow they come through a friend or someone and they come to our office and say, look, and it happens nearly every second day we have someone coming in that are not registered, and they're saying, look, I used to work in so and so company, and due to my due to my visually issues, I cannot work, but I need assistance. So what we do is like we refer them to the social welfare assistance, and then from there we do assist. We start providing them with assistive devices and so forth. So it's basically not only the registered members, but anyone that comes across that they need assistance, we provide them with assistance.
Oh, all right. So what about how can a visually impaired person be registered with the United Blind Persons of Fiji?
When a person is visually impaired, and what we basically need is like we need a confirmation letter or medical report from the relevant hospitals,
Okay.
so or Ministry of Health. So once they get them, we will be setting the document, we will be filing that, and that document basically goes to the social welfare for their social welfare assistance grants. So we need the most important document is the hospital report, their TIN registration, a passport size photo, and also any sort of ID cards that they have. It's basically that. It's simple. We're trying to keep it simple, but main thing there is a medical report just to confirm that he or she, on what level visibility he or she has, are they partially blind or they're fully blind or they're low vision. So there's different types of, visual impairment stage or categories, right? So there's totally blind, there's partially, and there's low vision.
Okay.
Right? So we normally see and do an assessment, and according to that, we give them the assistance. So once they become a member, they have the full accessibility of all our programs and trainings that we offer them.
Thank you. Now, what are the needs of a visually impaired person?
What's the need?
Yes. What are the needs?
For them, as a visually impaired person, they basically, the main needs is a white cane. They need a white cane for their movement, and they want to be independent. So any sort of movement that they want to do, they do need assistance, of course.
Yeah.
And mainly they want to be like us normal people, and we have to treat them like a normal people. At the end of the day, they are us.
Yes,
but
exactly.
The only issue they have is like they have lost their sight.
Yes.
So the main need is them is like, number one, we need to respect them, and secondly, we need to understand the situation they're in. So
okay, so that's the thing. Yes, they need our understanding for sure.
Understanding. We need to understand them. Yes.
Sorry, Rajneel, we actually need to go into another break. I mean, this is the time seems to be flying, but it's so great that you're sharing all this information with us. Now we shall head into the break and be back for more on Speak Your Mind on Gold FM. Only the classic hits. Welcome back to Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. I'm Louise Kaunisela, and it's good to have your company, especially when we're covering something of, I should say something important. You know, it's about caring about someone else. So my guest in the studio is Rajneel Prasad, and he's the events and marketing manager and, representing the visually impaired and doing a great job of it as well. So Rajneel, we need to continue. You said that the white cane is very important for a visual impaired person. I believe it's expensive. And how many people do have canes in the country? Well, I mean, I can't expect you to know the exact number, but do we need more? You know what I mean? Eh?
Yeah, we do need more. As I've said, that every day we do have a case that comes in that they need. There are certain members that they do not need cane, especially when they are low vision.
Right.
They do not need canes. So we do have canes. We're still trying to get more canes in from abroad, if in case, because there are different sizes of different cane depending on the height of a person. So those other things are actually important. I mean, like last year, we were really fortunate last year, we actually created a history in Fiji that the visually impairment people. There were about 15 to 20 members that have actually walked from Suva to Nandi with a white cane.
Oh, yes,
And
I
it took
remember
us
reading
200.
that article, Rajnil.
Yes. And it
Yes.
was one of my another pioneering event that I actually
Oh,
hosted for them
wow.
to create awareness and to show people that look, we are independent. They're independent people. They can, when others can do a walkathon event, we can do a walkathon with a white cane, and not for short distance, but we actually did a 1 week program from Suva to Nandi. The members actually walked and raised funds for the other budding members.
So how was that
So
experience for you, Rajnil?
well, actually, it was a very challenging one, and I had to go down to all the various Torang Nikoros and also various towns to get permit and permissions, and we also had to have the medical team with us as well,
Yeah.
because it is very important, especially for visually impairment people, for working for that long. We need to have the whole medical team ready on standby if anything happens. But
Yeah.
thank God, nothing as such was done. I mean, like we had actually concluded our event in a very high positive note. No one was injured. Everybody was totally healthy. And also, it was an awareness program as well. What we basically did is we created an awareness, because what happens if he or she, I mean, like at home, if we see a person with disability, what family intend to do? Okay, sit down. You don't do anything because you are disabled.
See, they don't want to be treated like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they're sitting down in one place for a week, and they don't do anything, there is no physical activity for them, and there is other health issues. They
Yes.
intend to have NCDs.
They have to exercise just as we do.
Yeah. And they have mentally issues, and all this kind of stuff comes into effect. So what we decided to do? Okay, look, we will pull them out from that comfort zone. We will make them work.
Right.
And they were healthy. At the end of the day, at the end of the week, they were all saying, "Oh, we're feeling good, or we're feeling light," and these are the things that actually impacted me to do more activities as such,
Yes.
for them to keep them healthy, because we do know that they're already going through issues in terms of disability, but we're
Yeah.
trying to we're trying to make them feel normal. We're trying to get them to be energized. We want them to be more healthy. So at the end of the day, those are the main things that we are planning to do, and we will continue to do that in future.
Excellent. So what has been your most amazing experience with a blind person, Rajnil?
Well, for me, not only for the blind person, I'm here at the National Disabled Complex in Brown Street.
Right.
And actually, I'm working with the other disabled sectors. And it is quite interesting to see that the challenges that they face and we don't. And then we see that, they are most talented people on earth, I would say, compared to us. Even though they're on wheelchair, or even though they're on, they're visually impaired, or even though they're deaf. And if you see during this pandemic, you see the Fiji Deaf Association has been doing a marvelous job, relaying message to their members by doing interpreting, messages during the press releases. And I have actually seen some amazing things, and actually I have learned a lot of things with these guys, and it made me a different person now in terms of how I see other individuals. So it is an amazing experience, and it is a very good learning stage, not only with visually impairment people, but with other disability sectors. So it is amazing.
Exactly. Thank you. So what are some of the things that a visually impaired person can never understand?
Well, okay, can never understand. It's basically like for example, like for visually impaired people. If you are communicating with them, you need to have a verbal communication with them. If you start making faces, for example, if someone with a low sight, and if they see that if you're doing a sign language in front of them, they get offended. And also with a deaf person as well, you cannot, talk to them, because we have to talk to them in sign language. So sometimes it is very challenging for me as well. Like if I'm sitting with a deaf person and also with a visually impairment person, I have to do verbal and non-verbal communication. So I have to do, sign language, and also I have to do a normal conversation, because there's two different persons sitting with me.
Right.
So I have to be very particular on the level of communication that I have with both parties.
Okay, tell me something, Rajnil, just quickly. So you know how to do sign language?
Basics.
The basics. Oh, excellent. Good one.
Yeah.
You had to be able to
I
communicate,
had to
yes?
learn, Yeah, so I'm getting there. I do basic communication, and especially when there is when there is no one, so I have to go in to do a basic sign language
Yeah.
to actually explain to them in a basic way that they actually understand that what is actually going on. So
Yeah.
it's basically it's just a matter of understanding.
Right, exactly. I mean, everything in life is communicating and understanding, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you see our visually impaired people, or for our, people living with disabilities in the country? What do they lack, and how can we improve their standard of living?
Basically, what we need to do is give them opportunity. What I have actually noticed that if you go to a workplace, and some of our members actually, not only for the visually impaired, but for the other disability sectors, what they basically do is like if they go for an employment, they don't hire them because they're disabled, one. So what we need to do is we need to give them opportunity to be into the normal employment sector.
Right.
We need to bring them back and say, look, despite you are visually impaired, despite that you are deaf, despite that you are on wheelchair, look, you can still do this. There are a lot of them are in universities. There's a lot of them that are graduating. But are they getting employment in the normal employment sector?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So we need to change the mindset. The business houses need to change the mindset for these people. Give them opportunities. Empower them to do work. Do a bit of SME training, entrepreneurial training, and other stuff for them to be independent. So
Yes.
all they need is respect, independence, and also empower them. For example, if a visually impaired person walking in town and with a stick, and there are people that actually laugh at them. So you
No,
don't do
that's just not on. Rajnel, it brings to mind that not long ago I saw a Fijian of Indo-Fijian descent. He was walking all alone, and this Itauke came up. He had his white cane, so obviously he would have been, fully visually impaired, right? So this Itauke bloke, huge guy, came up and just started talking to him, and walked with him all the way. And that sight really touched my heart. And there was just no discrimination when I saw that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
There's
I felt
particularly-
so good. Yeah.
There's particularly there are few youths, and actually we have seen, and we have got some reports actually came up to us that there were people they were working, and some youths actually go and kick their cane.
Oh no, no, that's
like,
just horrible.
If they need assistance in terms of crossing the road, and please do help them, because they are normal persons like us.
Yeah.
So if they need to cross the road, and if you see a person, visually impaired person on the road
With a cane.
white cane, and
Yeah.
they're trying to cross the road, help them, hold their hands, and just cross over the road. And it's a blessing, and if you do that. And
It would mean the world to them, Rajnel. But
yeah, and they actually appreciate,
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I mean, this has been really good talking to you, but it's the end now of Speak Your Mind, Rajnel. Maybe next time we'll have another chat again.
All right. Thank you very much for having me on board.
Well, you're most welcome, and thank you for the great work that you're doing on Speak Your Mind. I hope you enjoyed the program. Until next week, remember, don't forget to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds properly with soap and water. Yes? Rub your hands really good. Wash your hands really good. Keep a safe distance from anyone. And you stay safe. Be well until next week. Nisamo demanda.